Hi everyone. So I was asked to give my favorite tips for teaching a finger twirl. So this is how I teach my finger twirls. First, I have my students start by doing a finger drill, and I have them make a fist and point their palm to the ceiling. And then I have them practice putting their index finger out, pulling their index finger in, putting their middle finger out, pulling their middle finger in, and putting the last two fingers out, and then pulling the last two in. I typically teach my students to do the over into two, but you can also just go to the pinky, and if that's the option that you want to do with your students or yourself, then just practice that finger drill. This helps you to build a little bit of muscle and flexibility in those fingers and be able to twirl the baton. So then once I get that started, then I'm just gonna put the baton on top of my index finger, and then I'm gonna fold my index finger in, put my middle finger out and pull my baton to my middle finger, pull my middle finger in, put my last two out, pull my baton to my last two, and then put my close my fingers around the baton. Then I can turn my hand over. So I really talk to my students about making sure that their palm stays up for the entire time they're twirling. And then we restart that and we practice it. And one of my students that I taught when she was younger and I was younger, she came up with the great idea of saying to littler kids or to younger kids, pretend that you have a little chick in your hand and you don't want that chick to fall out. So you can't tip your hand over while you're in the middle of the finger twirl. So that's how I teach my finger twirls. Now when I'm teaching my finger twirls to have the over into two at the back and the back into one at the front with the scoop in between, the big thing that I talk to my students about are making sure that the finger twirl happens directly to the back, and then I lock it into those fingers, scoop it, and then have the finger twirl happen to the front, scoop it, and at the back. Students commonly make the mistake of having the twirl happen while the baton is traveling. And that's another thing I try to make sure that they know is that the twirl happens at the back, the scoop happens, and then the twirl happens at the front and nowhere in between. So those are my big tips for doing finger twirls. If you have any questions, please let me know.